Hey everybody, my name is Morgan, and welcome back to the YouTube version of Podcast of the Dragon, where I talk about the Wheel of Time on Prime. It has been quite a long time since I've made a video, because it's been quite a long time since Season 1 dropped. And since my podcast is quite book focused, you haven't been seeing very much of me. But with Season 2 about to be released, it's time for some preparatory show content. Before I discuss the best writing choices and changes in Season 1, I'm going to explain why I, a long-time, endlessly rereading book fan, am perfectly okay with most of the things that leave a lot of book purists literally steaming at the ears. The Wheel of Time has a canon that is such that it basically has infinite pliability. RJ basically lays out for us in the flicker scene in The Great Hunt all the many ways that a single person's life could go based upon different choices. Just one person, Rand's life. Now you incorporate all of that into a new turning of the wheel where each individual person's individual choices would change that. And the Wheel of Time is just uniquely designed to fit into a television adaptation because every change that they make is a plausible possibility. Most of the things that they show us weren't in the book, but they could have been. They could have been in a new turning. And since I've read the books endlessly, I enjoy seeing the new things that they show us. And with that, here are the 5 best writing choices or changes in Season 1. Number 5, the White Cloaks. Turning the menace up on these ass hats is definitely the way to go because in concept, they are actually quite terrifying, and the treatment that Perrin and Egwene receive at Eamonvalda's hands in the show is way more believable than Jeffrey Bornhald's far gentler custody that they are in The Eye of the World. It is pretty certain, I think, that Eamonvalda is being combined with Jacob Carradine in the show, which is an excellent choice. They're going to have to just combine when it comes to characters, to cut all those characters down, try to condense all the characters in the story. And while the torture scene in episode 5 did not happen in the book, it totally could have, and it did some searing storytelling and let Perrin and Egwene engage in a little bit of badassery. And from watching lots of non-book reader reacts, I know that it did a great job of showing and not telling Perrin's wolf communications. Watching the non-book readers puzzle it out, I can say for sure that it was an excellent writing choice. Number 4, the ending at the eye. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Rather than a convoluted pool of power hiding artifacts, it's just easier to have Rand be tricked into releasing a Forsaken. The Forsaken are going to get out anyway, and it's just much better storytelling for this oopsie to happen, rather than Rand melting Ishi's face and then stabbing him in the heart and only finally killing him in a third battle. Much better just to accidentally set him free and only kill him once. And since RJ himself felt like he could have done a better job at the end of The Eye of the World, I feel like that was an excellent writing choice. Great change. Number 3, increasing Leandrin's importance. Kate Fleetwood, holy hell, isn't she awesome? And like Eamonvalda, I am pretty certain they're going to combine Leandrin's character with a number of other villainous Reds. And instead of her being the shallow, vapid asshat that she is in the books, she's one of RJ's least compelling characters. Like, he writes some pretty compelling villains, but she is not one of them. They've made her amazing instead, and it sounds like they might even be able to make us feel some kind of sympathy for her. And if they can do that, wonderful. Great, great writing change. Number 2, early introduction and creating a central importance for the Aes Sedai. This was a great writing change. It opened the world to non-book readers much faster than if they had stuck to the Eye of the World's narrative, which frankly is a narrative that tons of TV watchers have already seen and would not have been as compelling. So they did a great job explaining false dragons, explaining male channeling and the stakes behind it, the stakes behind the Aes Sedai and Waterbond, all of it, showing us the White Tower, all the politics involved, and in so doing, they pass on to the viewers a lot of things that readers only learn later on through exposition. The Aes Sedai are super engrossing, they're unusual, they're awesome, and giving non-book readers a foundational understanding of them and their politics was very smart. It was better to do it early on before Rand starts leveling up. Beautiful writing choice. And number one, the scene in Breen's Spring. Episode 3, A Place of Safety, isn't my favorite episode, but it's probably the one that I am most impressed with by the writing. Once again, we are faced with a that didn't happen in the book, and this occurred early enough in the show because they dropped the 3 episodes at once, so I was able to see bam, bam, bam. To give me an idea of what it was actually going to mean as far as their adaptation of the Wheel of Time. Rafe and his team are connecting the significant events and often having to synthesize and write new scenes in order to convey a whole bunch of information. And the scene in Breen's Spring does all of that just beautifully. While technically not a village that we ever see Rand and Matt stop at in the book, it is one that we actually hear about in The Eye of the World, and the show writers took all of the Dark Friends and all of the tribulations of Rand and Matt on the road, every chapter of which I love, by the way, and wrote a beautiful scene that shows non-book readers Dark Friends aren't all what you might expect, allows for Rand to channel out of a tough spot, and gives a great place to introduce Tom Maryland. And they even give us Easter eggs like the Four Kings, the post of the Four Kings in front of the tavern, which I'm suspecting as they have to write scenes that synthesize all kinds of different scenes that we get in the book in order to pass on this information, that they're going to give us little bitty Easter eggs throughout the course of the show. So, there you have it, my 5 best writing choices or changes in season 1. Please like and subscribe. Listen to the podcast if you are cool with full spoilers and like the books. And I hope to have another video out discussing writing choices and changes that we can see coming in season 2 based on the trailer. We'll see if that happens. I'm a little rusty on my video editing, so we'll give it a go. But thanks for dropping in and watching the YouTube version of Podcast of the Dragon. Take it easy.